you are afraid of being that successful.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about, I can be that successful, but that successful, I'm very uncomfortable with that.
Yes.
Barbara, I bet you run into this a lot. Yeah, this is really, really prevalent for women. Because this shyness is really what it is of that much success. Because then what is everybody going to think about me? And, you know, automatically when you do something outstanding, that separates you from a number of people, right? But what you don't yet realize about yourself, Joan, is what an example you can be. Your success could be to other women coming along behind you. You've got to step into the role of leadership that you were designed to emulate, to show people. Don't you see that that is the payoff for letting yourself reach your full potential? So you have to get this idea out of the way. Okay, your mother, that was not her destiny to be the leader, to show other people. It is yours. And you understand then that that would be perfectly okay for you to have all the money come to you? Because that would be part of what you would be showing other women.
Oh, so that's I wasn't getting the connection between making money and being the role model.
Right. And see, how many women have the same problem you're talking about? Anyone want to raise their hand?
Oh, wow.
Right? See, and it's this shrinking from being that successful.
Yep.
Because then, oh, well, what will people think of me? And maybe they'll think I'm greedy. I won't have any friends. See, that's all part of it. But if you flip that around and you think, wow, how many women are going to admire me and want to emulate me? See, you're in the role of the authority, the teacher then. And see, now your destiny will be fulfilled. And then when you die, you're going to say, I did it. I did what I was here to do. That's why I ask you, why are you here? See, you don't know that answer yet. Now she does. But that's okay. It's going to come to you. Because when you know, oh, I'm trying to get over my mother's not having ever really gotten there.
Yeah.
And if I get there, you're going to immediately know the reason why your mother didn't do it. But see, that separates you from her. Profound separation. When a daughter outdoes the mother.
Yes.
And there's a psychic terror that happens. All therapists know that. That's why when I work with people, I have them call their parents by their first names. I don't allow them to say mom and dad because, you know, those words are just too powerful.
Yes.
And when they write their autobiography, they have to describe the parent as a person, not the mom, the dad. Right? It's like a novel.
Yeah.
It's amazing. See, so I think if you said, what is your mother's first name?
Rose.
Rose. So think of Rose now, not mom.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Joan, are totally separate from her. There's nothing to hold you back now. You've got to be the role model for other women. That's your destiny.
That is a tear.
It is a tear.
And one of the best things that happened to me, and let me explain this before you hear it, was the death of each of my parents, because they did that really well. And that was probably what the most teaching they ever did for me, and my work has really come from that.
Yeah.
They were courageous as they died. They died living fully. They didn't live living fully.
Well, which is the real death?
Before they died.
Before they died.
And so my work is based on their deaths. I mean, that's the core of it. That's the motivating force behind some of it.
Yeah, but I really think deep down that you're here to teach about life.
Yeah, being vitally alive till you die.
And live it to the full, make all the money you need, and soar as far as you can go. Well, if you can't let yourself do that, how are you going to teach others?
Gotcha.
I'm really glad you insisted on talking. Thank you.
My intuition told me I needed to.
Yes, it is. One more. Okay, now we will get them in. Patrice? Sorry, we could be here all day, right? Well, I will be staying afterwards. As I said, we'll go outside afterwards. I have the books, and I'll be happy to talk to you and stick around, and so we'll do that. Okay.
So I'm Gary.
You're Gary.
Yes. And I'm happiest when I'm problem-solving solitarily.
Okay. And what kind of problems do you solve solitarily?
I'm trying to figure out how to save the world.
What part of the world are you talking about, Gary?
Elders.
Elders where specifically?
I'm engaged. I'm part of an organization called the Saging Guild.
Okay.
And we're trying to figure out how to get the information out about positive aging, conscious aging to the broader population.
Well, do you understand what the problem is then you're not being specific to me, and
Okay.
that's what's holding you back is the lack of specificity, because you're talking very generally.
Yep.
And your creative mind, your creative self, does not know how to fasten on what you can actually handle because the problem is being drawn too big.
Yep.
See, it's like you're like the guy that came to see me one time. He said he wanted to save the world, and I said, "Well, what part of the world are you referring to?" And he said, I put him in my book, because it was such a good example. He said, "Well, no, you know the world." I said, "I don't. You mean your city, your town, what?" Well, we didn't get very far in that session, so I walked him out to his car because I had to go to the mailbox that day, and I looked in the car, and my God, it was a mess, I said, "If you want to save the world, why don't you start with your car?" And he started laughing, and he said, "Well, don't hold back, Nancy." Well, after that, he went home and he cleaned his car, and then he went to AA meetings, which is something I suggested he needed to do. In other words, he was projecting a lot of his problems out there onto saving the world when his world is the one that needed attention. So I think in your language, if you could be more specific with me about what can you actually handle, Gary, in terms of what can you change. You mean one person, 3 people?
No. I mean all the people above the age of about 55 in the U.S., I'd like to make them aware of what conscious aging or positive aging is so they can make their choices whether they want to embrace it.
Well, I got you, but that's a goal that's almost impossible to reach. See, try to get the goal down to what you know you can actually reach in the next 6 months.
Yeah, well, part of the issue is that this is a new assignment for me in the last 3 months, so I'm really in the business of trying to figure out what is the proper focus at this point.
Okay, well, that's exactly why you brought it up and why I'm telling you. Whoever gave you this assignment.
I did.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to say whoever gave you that assignment doesn't have the ability to deal with reality.
That's why I have a good committee I'm working with.
All right. I want you, as an exercise, for you to look at only setting goals in 6-month chunks, because you have a part of you that goes way over there.
Yeah.
And then when you're not going to be able to accomplish it, you're going to feel depressed.
Perhaps,
See, because you're taking on more than you can handle. When you state a goal the way you're stating
I
it.
hope not.
Well, when you
I stated it broadly, just without being a little facetiously.
Well, okay, good. So let's just not be facetious and really bring it down to what you can do in the next 6 months. So you and your committee, you guys should say, what can we actually achieve in the next 6 months? Locally, where we all live. Okay, then locally goes out further and further into the rings. Okay, start with what's right, the street you live on, for example, or the town or something. In other words, be very specific in targeting what your goal is when you write a goal. Mm-hmm. Because why? Your subconscious mind doesn't know what to do with make elders aware everywhere of positive aging. It's, there's nothing to fasten on. But if you say, well, we're going to put on a seminar at the local community college about positive aging. Mm-hmm. See? Now your subconscious knows, okay, I know the town, I know the venue, I know, right? It's something you can actually do. So the more specific you can be, Gary, the more you're going to educate people about positive aging.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you very much. Great work.
The Institute for Social Innovation at Fielding Graduate University thanks Nancy Anderson for her contribution to the 4th Annual International Conference of Positive Aging. This has been a presentation from the 4th Annual International Conference on Positive Aging, held in Los Angeles at the California Endowment Center for Nonprofit Management. The conference was hosted by the Institute for Social Innovation at Fielding Graduate University in Santa Barbara, California.